I grew up in the California desert. I loved the quiet nights and the star-filled skies, but when my family would occasionally go to the beach, I didn't love it. I was fussy about it. Sand sticking to me, getting in freezing cold water, salt water in my nose. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand why people loved the beach so much. But somewhere along life's journey, getting beat down, I craved a quiet place, a beautiful place. I've always been looking for beautiful places to just be. And one day, as an adult, I just drove to the beach to sit. I didn't need a bikini. I didn't need to worry if I got sand everywhere. I didn't even have to get into the water. I could just sit and listen, sit and read, take a nap, bask in the sun. I didn't have to do anything else, just sit. And then I got it. And then I craved it. I thought about it more and more, and I said, one day I'm gonna live near the ocean. And I did it. I live by the ocean now, and for the first time in a long time, I have a space that's just mine. And now I'm learning what that actually means for me. Turns out the things that actually bring me joy are simpler than expected. So I'm filming this from a hotel room in Texas, and I know, for those knackpackers that have been around for quite a while, you'll know that I just moved out of Texas back to California. But I'm here for a really good reason, which I'll get to in a little bit. But I wanted to come on here because honestly, it's been a minute and I have a lot to catch you up on. Have you ever had that feeling like something big is about to shift in your life? I had this same feeling right before I started living in my van or my car. I just had this overwhelming feeling that I just had to do something different. And now is another point in my life where I'm starting to feel like that. And I really haven't felt that big push since the time when I started living in my car. And now that I moved back to California, I have that feeling of breaking away from all the clutter and just all the noise and just all the craziness of the world, and just wanting to feel more at peace, more free, just more into myself and things that I like to do. And I'm not running away from anything or running towards something. I think I'm just settling into just being and not worrying so much about the perception of others or what other people want me to do. It's just sort of feeling like I'm ready to just exist in my own life and just do the things that makes me happy, which sort of started making me think lately about cages. I don't know. I have all these random thoughts a lot of times, but I started thinking about pets and birds and cages and stuff. And I feel like I've put myself in a cage for a very long time, a cage that I didn't really even need to put myself in. Not literal cages, obviously, but the ones we build for ourselves. The ones made of shoulds and shouldn'ts and what will people think, all those kinds of cages that get locked into our mind of the things we have to do or shouldn't do. And I've been living in some of those cages for a very long time without even realizing it. Like, for example, I moved to Texas because I told myself I had to move near my adult kids to prove I was a good mom. Like, if I wasn't geographically closer to them, then I was somehow failing them. And y'all know how that turned out. I was lonely. I wasn't thriving here in Texas. And you know what? I moved back to California and we still have a great relationship. I'm still a good mom. And that cage wasn't even real. Or another example, and this one's a big one for me, so bear with me on this one. In the past little while, I told myself I really didn't want to show up on camera without perfect hair and makeup and fully edited videos, because people would judge me because I've gained weight, because I need to look a certain way like I looked before when I had my channel years ago. And I'm just done with that. Like, I'm just done. Figure either you like me or you don't, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And honestly, if you can relate to getting older and your body changing and you just show up anyways, we're gonna get along just fine. And here's a silly one that's gonna kind of lead me into what I wanted to talk about today. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just have silly thoughts that I just put in my head for no reason that doesn't make sense, and maybe you do too. But I almost didn't order coloring books because I thought everyone's doing that. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon and just be like everybody else. I have to be different and unique. And then I was like, I like coloring, I like painting, I like trying new things. That's just it. I like it, end of story. And that's kind of been my thing lately. I don't need a reason. If I like it, I like it. I don't have to justify it to anybody. And nobody really told me that I needed to, but I just did it because I felt like I had to, but I don't. And on that note, I want to tell you about a rabbit hole I went down because it kind of explains where my head's been lately. So I don't know about you, but as I'm scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, I've been seeing these ads for letter subscription clubs. And I was going to order some because I love stationery, I love getting real mail, I love cozy stories. And then because the algorithm is going to do what the algorithm does, it started sending me different videos on YouTube. And one of them was a podcast with this woman being interviewed about a business she started and how she's making extra money. So I clicked on it to find out how she was making this extra money, and it was literally sending snail mail, like actual physical letters with little goodies in them. So I looked up her TikTok and I was gone. Into the rabbit hole I went like Alice in Snail Mail Wonderland. I started saving TikTok videos into a folder, and before I knew it, I had over 150 videos of people who've started snail mail businesses. And of course, you know me, I was like, oh, I'm going to start a business of doing snail mail. I stopped myself before I started investing in stationery and stickers. But I was like, you know what? I really want to start receiving snail mail and goodies and start getting into my crafty vibes and stuff like that. And I did start ordering some subscriptions of snail mail. So far, I think I've ordered like 5 snail mail subscriptions, and they range from like $7 to $12 a month. So I can't order all of them, but I at least wanted to just dip my toe in and just try it out. But there's so many I want to try. It reminds me of those goodie bags. I don't know if you had them where you lived, but when I was growing up and the ice cream truck would come by, they had all the ice creams and stuff, but they also had goodie bags. You could just buy, it was like $1 or $2, and you'd get this little bag and you'd open it and it'd have like little candies or little stickers or just little treats in there. And it was just like you never knew what you were going to get. And then you'd look at what your siblings got or your friends got, and you're like, oh, that's cool too. And you just kind of see what everybody got. And it just kind of gives me that same vibe. Like blind bags or mystery bags. I mean, who doesn't love getting a little surprise in the mail? It just makes me smile. It makes me happy. And obviously I'm going to share it with you each time. So if you like that sort of thing, you're going to want to join the snack pack. And then when I was in that rabbit hole, I got sucked into another rabbit hole of pen pals and people online exchanging like addresses to become PayPals, be pen pals, especially from other countries or other states. Just kind of like we used to do when we were kids. And then I thought, okay, maybe I'll look into that in the future. But for now, it got me thinking about community. And when I started this channel to share my nomadic journey, I never really thought about the community aspect. I was just coming on to make videos about what I'm doing in my car or my van. But this community has been the best part of this channel. But when I left van life, a part of that community left with it. And I've been feeling a little disconnected, if I'm going to be honest. Many of you have stuck around, and for that I am truly grateful. But now I want to build that connection again with what we're doing right now and all the things that we relate on, especially as we're getting older. And a lot of us have empty nests, and we all have creative hobbies and stuff like that. So I really want to build that tribe up within the snack pack. So there's been times where some of you have asked if I have a P.O. box because you wanted to send me something, send me mail or send me some letters or whatever. And for the longest time, I didn't have, I was living in a van, so I didn't have like a real way to just have like a stationary P.O. box. But now that I'm settled, I finally pulled the trigger and I got a P.O. box because I want to feel closer to you. So if you've ever wanted to send something longer than a YouTube comment or have cards, stationery, something cozy you wanted to send, I'd love to receive it. I'll put the P.O. box in the description. Obviously, only send kind things. I don't want any hate mail. I definitely don't want any stalkers. I also won't be able to write back everybody. And if you do send something, let me know if it's okay to share it with the Snack Pack community or if it's just something you wanted to send privately. And then, as I was on the topic of snail mail, then I started getting in the algorithm different things about ACEOs or ATCs. So ACEOs is Artist Cards, Editions, and Originals, and ATCs are Artist Trading Cards. They're these tiny little cards that artists make to trade or sell. And that landed me on eBay, where I've been bidding on these little cards to put on my fridge. They range from like $1 all the way up, to different prices. But they're these little art cards that people create and kind of get their art out into the world. I think it's just so cute. And it's pretty affordable. I mean, you can go crazy, obviously spending a lot of money doing this, but of course I started bidding and now I've won like 3 or 4 artist trading cards. So I'm looking forward to receiving that in the mail. It really makes me happy to support artists, some of which are just getting started. And on that note, I've also been watching stuff about junk journaling. I'm telling you, once the algorithm gets you into some hobby and creative section of the internet, you start getting inundated with all this cozy creative stuff. And I'm really here for it because I love that sort of stuff. Now, in terms of junk journaling, I've kind of always been a journaler, or I've always loved that kind of thing. But then when people were talking about junk journaling, where you start pasting different scraps and stuff, I was like, oh, that might be too messy. I don't want a, drawer full of all this junk. But then I'm like, it also seems kind of therapeutic. And I told my brain, like, kind of put a little cage, like, oh, you can't do that because it's just too messy. But it's like, why not? Why can't I just be messy and just try something new? So now I'm on that train, and I've just been looking up different YouTubers, and I've kind of put on these long, hour-long videos about people junk journaling and just, pasting scraps of stationery and all these things. It's just really calming. And that led me back to what I talked about earlier about the coloring books, because I was like, all right, well, I also just want things that are calming. At the end of my workday, I just want to relax and do something that I don't have to be perfect at, just very basic things. And coloring is very therapeutic, just like art is therapeutic for me. Drawing, painting, ceramics is really calming for me. So I just ordered some coloring books, some alcohol markers, because I want to set up my desk to be like a cozy art corner or a cozy hobby corner, and just be able to do stuff, make stuff with my hands. I just feel like this is my vibe and I'm embracing it. I love stationery, blankets, stickers. I used to collect stickers when I was a kid. I love journaling. I love diaries. I'm a nosy person, so I like reading other people's diaries, but don't worry, I'm not gonna break open somebody's diary. I love letters, arts, crafts, thrifting, anything cozy. I really love all the analog stuff that's coming out recently. That's just like people are trying to get away from their phones and screens and just be more into things that don't include those things. So just analog lifestyle, like old school. This is also my way of leaning into my childlike side, my creative side. I think a lot of us who are empty nesters have spent so much time pouring into our kids and other people that we honestly don't really even know what we like anymore, especially when things get quiet and you're just sitting there in your own space and you're like, what do I even want to do right now? I'm still figuring it out. And every time I choose myself and just do the thing that I like to do, it's getting a lot easier to choose myself even more. And I'm starting to think that's what freedom is actually all about. Just making tiny choices for yourself. It doesn't have to be big and dramatic. Just like, I like this, so I'm going to do it. And it's that simple. Okay, so I want to show you something now. Remember at the beginning of the video, I told you that I made something with my hands? Well, we're getting to that right now. And this kind of ties everything together that I've been talking about. Like doing things that matter to me without overthinking it. Like, I'm not a sewer at all, but I wanted to make something for someone really special. When my oldest son was a baby, he had a little comforter on the bed. It was a Noah's Ark theme. And I took a piece of it, just a little small piece, and sewed it into a brand new baby blanket by hand. It took me way longer than it should have because it was not a really big piece that I was sewing onto a new blanket. And it's not perfect, but it came from me and it came from love, and that's all that matters. And the reason I made it is because I'm gonna be a grandma for the first time, and that's why I'm in Texas waiting his arrival. And I just can't believe that my baby is going to have a baby. I'm so grateful, and I just wanted something from me and something from my son's childhood to be with the new baby boy from the beginning. And honestly, me making that blanket, sitting there hand sewing this thing, not quickly, not perfectly, that was me choosing joy and choosing to do something just because it was creative and it just came from love. And a few months ago, we had the baby shower, and I came back to Texas, and at the baby shower, they had these little blocks where every family member and friend made little blocks for the new baby. And I put a little palm tree with an ocean on mine because that's where grandma lives, and I want him to know it from day one. So because this channel is not all about me, I want it to be more of a community effort. I want to know what's something that you like but you've never let yourself fully enjoy because for whatever reason you're like, well, I can't do that, I don't have time for that, or I can't, people are going to judge me for that. Like, what's one thing that maybe is creative or something that you just want to do? It doesn't even have to make sense, but put it in the comments. I'd love to know. And listen, if you've been waiting for permission to like what you like or do what you want to do, this is it. I give you permission. It's not up to me to do it, but maybe this is your sign to just let go of all the expectations everyone else has for you and just do the thing that you like to do. I know it's helped me. You don't need a reason. You don't need to be good at it. You don't need to wait till you've lost weight. You don't need to wait till you've cleaned the house or made more money or figured everything out. You can just start right now from wherever you are, even if it's small and simple. In fact, it's probably better if it's small and simple. I'm literally filming this from a hotel in Texas, waiting for my first grandson to be born. If that's not starting from wherever you are, I don't know what is. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, if you're new to the Snack Pack, welcome. We welcome you with open arms. This is a great community and you're gonna fit right in. And if you've been here for a while, I love you dearly and I'm so grateful that you've stuck around for so long. So until next time, bye for now. So if you've ever wanted to, there are these tiny little cards. Wait, what? 3 or 4 different artist trading cards. And now I've won about, oh my gosh, what? Different things, what? Remember at the beginning of this video, I told you, remember at the video, what? But I wanted to make something. What are you saying?
snack time.